Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. For today's discussion, I have taken a question from the case called issue of debentures for consideration other than cash. So as you can see on the screen, it's a very small question. Adjustment wise, it is a lot that we have to do inside this question. That means it's a combination question where they are also talking about the redeemable cases of the debentures. You know what is redeemable cases, right? Debentures can be like in the question they can mention two cases of redemption. One is redeemable at premium, one is redeemable at par. Here it is redeemable at premium that is mentioned here. Normally when we are doing individual cases of redeemable cases alone. That means normally the question specifies like this. There are this many debentures issued and at one issue price will be given, or at par premium something they will give, and redemption case also they will give, and generally will pass the entry. That redemption case is associated with the case of consideration other than cash in this question. So they are combining both the cases. So simply to say, they are combining both the cases. Combining both the cases means issued for consideration other than cash as well as redeemable cases. So let us see the question. Glen Limited took over the running business of Hayward Limited, having assets of rupees 22 lakhs and liabilities of rupees 6 lakhs by issuing 20,000 11% debentures of rupees 100 each at 5% discount. So they are saying about purchase, one company purchasing the other company. So running business means, you know, we are actually acquiring two things. One is assets, one is liabilities. So you know the entry for acquiring the business, which is assets account debit to liabilities account to vendor. Vendor means from whom we have acquired the business, and you have also have to mention about the goodwill or the capital reserve involved here. So for goodwill or capital reserve, we need to find out one thing, that is, you know, two ways we can find. So let us pass the entry for that first. Question is, you are required to pass the journal entries in the books. Then while doing that first entry, we will discuss what is goodwill or what is capital reserve involved in that. So first let us pass the entry. So Glen Limited took over the running business of Hayward Limited. So obviously we are preparing the entries for, or passing the entries for, Glen Limited. So entry will be, first entry will be assets account debtor to liabilities account to, our vendor's name is Hayward Limited account. Again coming to the next part, that means asset account debit to liabilities account to Hayward Limited account. This is the normal entry. In this entry, sometimes goodwill will come, sometimes capital reserve will come. When it will be goodwill, when it will be capital reserve? When the purchase consideration, usually when normally to calculate, there is shortcut also. So when we are doing it, first you have to mention all the amounts on the, whatever amounts you know very well in these amounts. So 22 lakhs is assets value, liabilities value is 6 lakhs. Hayward Limited account, you have to mention the purchase consideration. Purchase consideration is nothing, how much amount in total are we going to pay. Is it mentioned in the question? They have not mentioned it clearly, but hints has been given in the question about the calculation of purchase consideration. As you can see here, by issuing 20,000 11% debentures of rupees 100 each at 5% discount. That means to calculate the purchase consideration, what are you supposed to do? 20,000 is the number of debentures. You have to multiply it by the issue price of one debenture. So 20,000 issue price, how to find? 100 is the face value, 5% discount, 5% of which value? Obviously 5% of 100, which will give us 5 rupees. So issue price is 95. So 95 will come. So 20,000 into 95 will give us the value of debentures that we need to that we are giving as purchase consideration. So we can see here, purchase consideration that we are getting here is 19 lakhs instead of so we are giving at 19 lakhs. So 19 lakh is the purchase consideration. Now what are we supposed to do? We will check whether both the sides, debit column and the credit column, total of the journal is giving the same amount or not. Obviously it is not. 22 lakhs is on the debit side and 25 lakh on the credit side. So something is missing here. Obviously if something is missing on the debit part of the entry, then that will be goodwill account. This is a shortcut. Similarly, if something is missing or some value is missing on the credit side, it will be called as capital reserve. Goodwill is actually what we are writing here as goodwill is actually the excess of amount that we are paying to the excess amount, not excess of amount, excess amount that we are paying to the company, okay, for acquiring the assets and liabilities. Whereas when it comes to the capital reserve, which I was telling, so if suppose debit side total was 25 lakhs and credit side total was 22 lakhs, obviously 6 lakh is, sorry, 3 lakh is missing there, right? The 3 lakh will be mentioned as capital reserve there because the 3 lakh is actually a profit. It's actually that profit is called capital gain. The capital gain will be recorded there. So here anyways it is goodwill. So to make it equal with the credit column total, we need 3 lakhs. The 3 lakhs is mentioned as goodwill. So I hope you understood the first entry. So I will repeat the capital reserve case alone. So suppose if the debit column total of the entry is giving as let us take the same example. Debit column total was 25 lakhs, whereas in our case it is 22 lakhs only. Okay, before writing goodwill, the total was 22 lakhs. Now just assume that it is 25 lakhs and credit column total was 22 lakhs. Then in credit side 3 lakh we are supposed to write. The 3 lakh is called as capital reserve in that case. The 3 lakh is actually a profit for us. In profit we can call it as capital gain, and the capital gain is transferred to a reserve called capital reserve. That is the purpose of this reserve. I hope I made it clear. Narration, I am not, as if you are a regular follower of our videos, you must be knowing that now we are not mentioning any kind of narrations unless it is very urgent or very important narration. We never used to discuss write narration on the screen, okay. Then next is so first entry is done. Next is we have to pay some amount of money to Hayward Limited, which is basically called as purchase consideration, which we found here 19 lakhs. And we know that when it comes to the payment, we are going to pay debentures in such a manner that these debentures are issued at 5% discount, as well as the debentures redeemable cases is also given in the question. Debentures are to be redeemed at or were redeemed at 10% premium. So in that case, to pass the entry, it is like this. First we have to mention, normally when we are giving debentures to the vendor, the entry that we have passed, suppose in this case, if it is a normal case, no redeemable cases are there, normally what we used to do, have our limited account debit to here 11%, if I am not, 11% debentures account will be mentioned when you are giving it as debentures, and depending on the case, so discount is there. So for discount usually will be mentioning loss on issue of debentures account data, usually will be mentioning loss on issue of debentures for discount. So here one more case is coming, redeemable case, right? So it is like this, three values are available to us in this question. One is face value of the debenture, which is 100. Issue price, for the first entry itself we have found the issue price as 95. How 95? Because 5 rupee discount is there, after removing that it is 95. Next is redemption value, the amount at which we are going to redeem the debentures, which is going to be how much? They are going to be redeemed at 10% premium. So on which value we have to we are supposed to calculate 10% premium? On the face value itself. Face value is 10%, is 10 rupees. So redemption value will be 100 plus 10. So we are going to redeem it at 110. Okay, 110. So that is the value. So when it comes to redemption value, so these three values should be analyzed carefully when you are passing the second entry. So this redeemable cases entry, so you know that when it is redeemable at premium, the entry will be like this. Forget about the case of debentures issued for consideration other than cash. Normal entry will be debenture application and allotment account. I am talking about the second entry only, or let us discuss both the entries in this case. Normal case, forget that there was a case of issued for consideration other than cash. Normal case, when the debentures are issued at a discount and redeemable at a premium, what used to be the entry? Bank account debtor to debenture application and allotment account. After that the entry will be debenture application and allotment account debtor, loss on issue of debentures account debtor to dash percentage debentures to premium on redemption of debentures account, premium on redemption of debentures account. In this case, this loss includes both discount and premium on redemption. Okay, if you want to show discount separately, that is also okay. Here generally when we are doing, we will be drawing both in loss, both the discount as well as the premium on redemption. So here in this case, as we are not passing entries like this, what you are supposed to do here is forget about debenture application allotment account. Rest of the entries will be same in the case of when it comes to the issued for consideration other than cash. So loss on issue of debentures account we have already debited, to 11% debentures, that also we have debited as a credited, and next one is to premium on redemption of debentures, to premium on redemption of debentures account, to premium on redemption of debentures account. So what did we do? Nothing. We don't have to pass the first entry here because it's not a case of separately getting money from the debenture holders. So we are not getting any money from the debenture holders. We are giving debentures to the vendor in such a manner that the debentures issue price is given in the question and redemption value is also given in the question. So we are actually merging the case with issued for consideration other than cash. We are not getting any money from Hayward Limited in this case. That is why we are not writing bank account entry here. Also, we are just, instead of debenture application allotment account, we are mentioning Hayward Limited account in the second entry. So first entry is different. In this case, second entry is also different. Second entry, we are just merging the part where we are considering the redemption value. Okay. So we have done it here. Now how to record it? So here Hayward Limited account, we have to pay 19 lakhs. So we can mention the purchase consideration itself. Loss on issue of debentures account, how are we supposed to do? In order to calculate the loss on issue of debentures, the amount of discount which I said earlier, 5 rupees is the amount of discount. Redemption value is 110. So 110 minus face value, that is the premium on redemption, so which is 10 rupees. So totally 15 rupees we have to, 15 rupees per debenture we have to consider here as loss. 15 into the number of debentures issued is already given in the question, 20,000. So 15 into 20,000 will give us 3 lakh rupees. 11% debentures account, face value of each debenture should go, which is 100 rupees. So 100 into 20,000 we will get 20 lakhs. Premium on redemption, we are going to get how much? What is the premium on redemption? 10 debentures, 10 per debenture into 20,000 debentures. So we will be getting 2 lakhs. Okay. So here understand the value clearly. Premium on redemption means the difference between the redemption value or redeemable value and the face value. So which will give us 10 rupees. Again, loss on issue of debentures, how to calculate? Loss on issue of debentures is basically the total of the discount as well as the premium on redemption. Discount was 5 rupees, premium on redemption was 10 rupees. So 10 plus 5, 15 rupees, 15 into 20,000 will be getting this amount. 11% debentures, 100 into 20,000 we will get 20 lakhs. Premium on redemption of debentures, 10 into 20,000, 2 lakhs. Okay, we'll be getting that amount. Okay, so these are the values that you have to take in this case. So 19 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 20 lakhs and 2 lakhs. This is how you have to do the case. Again, to explain, this is a case of combination of debentures issued for consideration other than cash. So normally along with the entries, normal entries you should remember, first we are purchasing the business. Here it is a case of purchasing the business. Even the debentures issued for consideration other than cash has many cases, like issued to promoters are there, issued to underwriters are there, purchase of asset is there, purchase of business is there. This is the case of purchase of business because clearly given the question, Glen Limited took over the running business of Hayward Limited. Next, what we are supposed to do? We want to find out, we want to pass the first entry when we are acquiring the entire business. What is the entry that we are supposed to pass? We have to pass asset account debit to liabilities account to vendor account. This is the basic structure of the entry. And once we pass that, we have to record the assets values there. We have to record the liabilities value. Hayward Limited, here it is not directly given how much amount are we going to pay to Hayward Limited. So we have to calculate it using the calculation like this. 20,000 debentures are there, 20,000 into issue price of each debenture we have to calculate. So you know that it is debentures face value is 100 each and 5% discount is given in the question. So 5% discount means 5 rupees, because 5 rupees, 5% of 100 is 5 rupees. So we will be getting 95 rupees. 95 into 20,000 is the value of purchase consideration. Once we record it, simple only. Sometimes it can be goodwill on the debit side of the entry. Sometimes it can be capital reserve on the credit side of the entry. When it will be goodwill, you just check the debit side total of the entry and credit side total of the entry. As you can see here, debit side total without goodwill. You just ignore the goodwill part now. Just think that we have written only asset, liabilities and Hayward Limited account. When you check like that, debit column total, you know this is debit column and credit column, right? Though I have not drawn it, you know that which is the debit column amount and which is the credit column amount. So debit column amount will be 22 lakhs in total, credit column amount will be 25 lakhs in total. So as we know that it's very clear that debit column total is less than the credit column. So obviously 3 lakhs should be added there. So when it comes to debit side total being less, the difference amount will be called goodwill. So we'll be writing it as goodwill account debtor. Suppose if the opposite happens, that means credit column total is less, then we have to write the difference as capital reserve here. So obviously we'll be writing capital reserve here. I'll just change the color. We'll be mentioning it like to capital reserve here, and we'll be writing 3 lakhs here if suppose credit column total was less. Okay, that is how you have to do here. So that is done. Clear? Now, so goodwill, we have found that it is goodwill. And to say what is capital reserve, capital reserve means basically it is the amount that we are supposed to transfer or supposed to keep when we are getting any kind of capital gains. What is capital gains? If you are selling any asset or if you are purchasing any asset, because when you are dealing with assets in general, if you get any profit when you are selling the asset or something, that is also an example for capital reserve. Okay, capital gain. The capital gain will be transferred to a reserve called capital reserve. Okay, so that is how capital reserve. In our case, capital reserve happens when we are purchasing a business and the payment that we are making for the purchase of business is less than what is supposed to be paid. Okay, if it is more than what is supposed to be paid, then it is called goodwill. So anyways, for this much explanation is enough, I hope. Next is coming to the second entry. When we are passing the second entry, you know, normally the entry is if you are purchasing, if you are making payment to Hayward Limited or any vendor account debit to whatever debentures, what is the debentures details that you have to mention there. Here, in addition to that, we discussed about the entries as it is talking about the redeemable cases of debentures. Where is the redeemable cases of debentures mentioned? As you can see here, you are required to pass the journal entries in the books of Glen Limited if debentures were redeemed at 10% premium. So they are talking about these debentures are going to be redeemed, or just take like it is going to be redeemed at 10% premium. That means they are talking about redeemable cases of debentures. Redeemable, when a debenture is going to be redeemed at a premium, first we discussed what are the normal entries. When we are issuing debenture for cash, what are the entries that we are passing? So first entry will be bank account debit to debenture application allotment. Second entry will be debenture application allotment account debit, loss on issue of debentures account debit to -% debentures to premium on redemption of debentures account. This is a normal entry. In this case, first entry we are not passing because it is not a case of consideration other than issue for cash. now, so that entry is not needed. Second entry, we don't have to mention debenture application allotment account because we have not collected any application or allotment in the first entry. So in the place of debenture application allotment, you can just bring all the remaining rest of the entry to the second entry, which we normally pass for issued for consideration other than cash. So that is why loss is coming here, 11% debentures is coming here, premium on redemption of debentures is also coming here. Okay, even if the redemption redeemable cases is not there also, we have to mention 11% debentures. Loss and premium on redemption is coming because of the reason that it is issued at a discount and redeemable at par. Now the next job is to find out how much is the amount of loss, how much is the premium on redemption. Loss can be found by adding both the discount and as well as the premium on redemption. So how to find out the discount? You already know that face value of one debenture is 100, issue price is 95, so obviously discount is 5, which is already given directly in the question, 5% discount. So discount is already 5 rupees. And the next thing is we have to find out the premium on redemption of debentures. Premium on redemption of debentures can be found using by finding the difference between redeemable value and the face value. Redeemable value is 110, face value is 100, so we will be getting 10. Okay, so we will be getting these two as 15. Total is 15. At 15 we have multiplied with 20,000 debentures because the number of debentures is already given in the question, 20,000. So 15 into 20,000, 3 lakh is there. 11% debentures account, we are getting 100 into 20,000, we will be getting 20 lakhs. Why 100 is taken here? Because face value is the what which you have to record in debentures account. Next amount that you have to write is premium on redemption of debentures account, which is 2 lakhs. As you know, premium on redemption separately we have found. This is discount, this is premium on redemption. So premium on redemption is 10 rupees. So 10 we have multiplied with 20,000 debentures, which will give us 2 lakh rupees. The 2 lakh is also mentioned there. And when we check the debit side total, debit column total will be 22 lakhs and the credit column total also will be 22 lakhs. I hope I made this calculations and the case clear to you. So these kind of questions are very important for this year's boards. So I hope today's session was helpful for you to understand the concept of merging the case of consideration other than cash, debentures issued for consideration other than cash, and also debentures redeemable cases. Okay, we'll be back with another important question. So till then, I wish you all the best, very best for your upcoming board exam preparation, and till we meet again, I wish, or I would like to say that you should keep practicing when it comes to this subject of accounts. Don't lose interest in this subject at this last moment. So I would like to say, till we meet again, as long as these videos are being continued, as I always used to tell, subject, each and every word in the question you have to read again and again, then only we can ensure maximum mark in the boards. And please do follow us for further clarifications regarding the topics which are important for the boards. Till we meet again, I would like to remind you once again that you should be very careful while doing the calculations and all. Please don't do any kind of calculations in mind. Okay, I wish you all the very best. Thank you.